I'm going to talk about something that many people are scared to talk about. When it comes to trading and money, a lot of people, and I want to speak about my experiences, if you're profitable or you're not consistently profitable yet, but mainly if you're not profitable, what ends up happening is your family, other friends or whoever that doesn't trade, they just look at you for being some weird person for doing this. And the reason why I say this is because you might be trading for a year, 2 years, or 3 years. And for those of you who are from an ethnic background, you'll be able to relate a lot to this, is that they'll say that, and they'll speak to other people, like other family members or other relatives, and they'll say something like, he's been doing it for X amount of years, but still hasn't made any money. And they'll just laugh as if it's a joke. They will completely disregard the actual things that matter in trading. Building a data sample, the KPIs like the win rate, the risk reward, collecting data. And I'm sure, okay, fine, maybe you can say they don't know about these things. They won't know about risk reward. They may not know about win rate and all of these things, fine. But what about treating trading like a business? Now, you don't need to be or know about trading to know about that. To know that trading, long-term trading, is literally like a business. A business is something that has data. They've tested the data. They've tested all of these things that make up the business profitable, right? But they don't see it like that. They'll just see it as if, oh, he hasn't made any money. They don't look at the actual things that you've struggled with and forget about trading. What makes you a profitable trader is like self-improvement. Working on your physique, your diet, bad habits. They will disregard all of these things. And they will say that, oh, he's been doing this, but he's not found any success. Because their view of success is money. And if you haven't brought that to the table, they just see you as a failure. Because you have nothing to show for the hard work. And it's unfortunate. But the thing is that we have to, as traders, accept it and keep doing what we need to do anyway, because we should not be letting stuff like that affect us. Now, it may have happened 100 times now. You'll get used to it, but still it will hurt you because you might have went through a lot of struggle, a lot of suffering in silence, because that's what trading is. Trading literally makes you sit there and cry. It doesn't matter how much of a masculine man you are, you're going to cry. It's happened to me. It happens to even successful people. It happens all the time. And they don't see it like that. Like a boxer or like an athlete that has to train. They would have to train for his fight, right? If it's a boxer, he'd be training for his fight. People will not be talking about how much he's made. People will be talking about his performance in the fight. Trading is very, very similar. Trading is so similar, but if anything, it's harder because you could be doing the right things, but still not find success. And that's the craziest thing. You may not even make any money from trading, right? But if you've adapted those skills of being able to collect data, being able to create systems, test things in different conditions, these are skills that can be put into anywhere, and family members, relatives, and people that don't trade will never see that. And no matter how many times you try to tell them and try to convince them, they will never understand. So I think the best thing to do is to not even try to convince them. Just forget about it. Let them talk. Let them do all of this talking, even if it's behind the scenes, and you keep working on yourself. And this is why I'm making this video, because many of us are struggling with that. Many of us. And I can relate to it a lot. And not just me, many traders, even the successful ones that you see online, the traders that have made millions in payouts, they all struggle with this. And another thing that I'm going to mention when it comes to money and trading is that people say that trading is a side hustle, side income. But I don't believe in that. Because if you treat trading like a side income, it's gonna pay you like that, right? The way I see it is, if you have multiple plans, sure, like stuff don't go to plan. I understand that. I'm not disagreeing that stuff don't go to plan, of course. But if you have this mindset of, I'm gonna try, and try, either I make it or I die trying. With that mindset, I'm a believer that when you have multiple plans, that, oh, I'm gonna have this stable job, or I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna have that, it's limiting your potential to actually make it in trading, because it's a whole different mindset. One mindset is you're gonna keep doing the same thing no matter what, and the other mindset is adding extra, potential cushions to stop you from falling. That, to me, will not work for me. And people will say that, oh no, you need to have a plan B, you need to be working a second job. But I think that you will not be able to try as hard when you are having these extra things. You'll be relying on them. And I'm not saying, okay, if your mindset is that you are getting into trading because, you want to make money fast, or you want to pay your rent, and you want to do these things, and sure, having an income is good. But if you're detached from money and you're not really thinking about money, you're in a really good spot. But the external factors that keep hammering us is, the relatives, the family members, the parents. Oh, you haven't made any money from trading. I myself so many times get asked the question, how much money have you made in trading? Have you made any money? And regardless whether you have made money or not made money, we hate getting asked that question. And why is that? Because to get to that stage of making money, even if you made money or not, you're putting in sacrifice. They're not asking the right question of, like, okay, what did you do to get there? Or how is your, whatever situation that you're going through, if you're collecting data, if you're trading on a demo account, whatever you're doing, they don't ask that. They will ask, how much money have you made? And trust me, even if you try to tell them, I am right now working on my system, I'm just trying to, tweak some things, they won't understand that. Wallahi, it's a bit mental illness, because so many times I get asked this all the time, especially by relatives. Every other week, are you making any money yet? Are you making any money yet? Are you making any money yet? And even if I was, and even if I am, I wouldn't tell anyone, because they won't understand. They will never understand. So stop worrying about money. Don't care about, I'm not saying completely forget about it, but trust me when I say this, even if you are really, really broke right now, and when I mean broke, I mean like having like £50 to your name, £10 to your name, whatever it is, understand that if you are able to live, and if you're able to breathe, you have another opportunity. That's the way I see it. If I was homeless, right, I would make things work, because my priority still wouldn't be to get money. My priority still wouldn't be, no, I need to become stable. My priority would still be trading. I'd get a cheap accommodation, like maybe I'll even rent out some office space, and I'll get a mattress and I'll sleep there. It'll be cheaper than getting a rent for like a house or something, or flat or something, or getting a car, a very cheap car for like £1,000 or something like that, and sleeping in the car and having a shower at the gym, because at a young age you can do these things. I'd do it, and I'd work in a cafe, or I'd work in a library or something on my trading. I'd make stuff work. The way I see it is, if you're breathing, you have the opportunity to do things. And that's the mindset that I have. And so trading for me and money, they're not in the same picture. I'm really not thinking about money. Every time I take a trade, bro, I'm not looking at my MT5. I'm not looking at my, trade C, whatever, I'm trading on. I'm not looking at that. I'm not looking at the P&O. Hell, I'm not even looking at the trade. When I'm in the trade, I'm out. I'm already out, because I can't do anything about it. Because my system is mechanical. It either hits TP, break even, or stop loss. That's it. I have no control over it. Even at the end of the day, I'm still not looking at my P&O. Only thing I'm doing is following the structure, showing what the market is trading. I am trading the markets. I'm not trading my money. I'm not trading my account size. My risk is static. I look at my P&L only at the end of the week or end of the month, even at the end of the month, depending on how I've been trading. If I've had a higher trade frequency, I'll be looking at it obviously at the end of the week. I'll be seeing how my performance is going, bi-weekly, whatever. But I'm not really looking at my P&L, because I know for me, it's always going to be a lagging indicator. Even if you're consistently profitable, it will always be a lagging indicator, because what matters is your risk reward, your win rate. If you're keeping these things how they need to be according to your system, the money will follow. As long as you're sticking to it consistently, the money will follow. So why obsess over it? Why let other people, other family members, make you believe that it matters? Why? Focus on what actually matters. Keep doing what you need to do. Whether it's focusing on yourself, whether it's saying no to family events. I'm a firm believer that if you really want something, you would, only thing that's required is keeping and sticking to it, no matter how long it takes. Once you get to the 3rd year mark or 4th year mark or 5th year, and even if you're like on the 5th or 6th year mark and you're still not profitable yet, of course it shows that maybe you're doing something wrong. But then the external pressure that you'd get from other people of like, oh, he hasn't made any money, they would see you as such a weird person for wanting an extraordinary life. You don't want to live a mediocre life. You don't want to live a life that everyone else is living, a stable life. You want to live a life where you can do what you want wherever you want. That's the life that you want to live. And people are seeing you weird for that. They are the ones that are mental. They are the ones that have stupid mental illness for thinking that someone that wants freedom, a life where they can do what they want, wherever they want, without having restrictions, they think that that person is a weirdo. And a lot of the issues, I believe, even in trading, you will come to realize that what's actually holding you back is no longer the charts, is no longer your system, is actually external factors that are subconsciously affecting your trading. It happened to me so many times. I just didn't understand what was the issue. My system was there, everything was there. My reading of the chart was so good. It's like, man, I was calling the market. Bitcoin, I took a position at 90k with a scalp, like a lower time frame entry. I held it all the way down to 70k. I was doing all of these massive moves as well, all of these crazy things. But for some reason, I kept taking invalid trades. Now, you can't completely remove invalid trades, but I kept taking them more than the valid trades. I didn't understand why. I was like, why am I keep breaking my rules? I don't understand it. I understand everything, and yet there's something that's wrong. I'm not even obsessing over the money. I'm not. And then I realized it's something that someone said. Maybe someone mentioned yesterday, even a brief sentence of like, oh, he hasn't made any money, and they're laughing. They're treating this as a joke. And these things have a massive impact more than you think. Even if you think that, okay, I'm going to just forget about it and move on, it still affects you. Because you think about, oh, I'm going to prove them wrong. That gets to you every time. And that affects your trading. And so the way I found that actually stops that and removes it is by keep doing what you need to do. No matter what it is, even if you keep taking invalid trades, let it be that. Eventually, slowly you get better and better and better and better. But you have to stick to it. Even if you realize that you keep taking invalid trades, don't blame other things. If you don't understand what's the reason why you're taking invalid trades, don't just make up things. Don't just make up, oh, maybe I was tired. It could be the case, but you don't know. If you don't know, then don't obsess over trying to find the reason. Keep trying to do what you need to do every day anyway. Then eventually those invalid trades will get less and less and less and less. And then later, that's when money become a success metric. But it's not a success metric before that. It's not a success metric if you haven't been consistently profitable. It's not. And even if you are consistently profitable, the money will always lag. It will always be a lagging indicator in trading. It's not like you work, you get paid, guaranteed. It's not like that. People think buy, sell, you make money. Some of them understand that there's a system behind it and it takes time. But still, they'll always think that, oh, trading is a process that should be mastered, over a year or two or something like that. Once you've been at it for over a year, I would say, or 2 years, they just start seeing you as someone who's a loser just because you are focused on yourself. They don't realize that the charts, how much they teach you about yourself. They expose your emotions. They expose the person that you are. If you have self-control issues, the charts show you that. Because you see it that you're unable, you take trades that you shouldn't be taking. You're having impulses, revenge trading. You're having these things, market showing you this is the type of person you are. You need to go and work on yourself. You need to go on self-improvement. You need to, start meditating, journaling, build, on fitness, all of these things. That was like an eye-opener, the charts, trading. But they will never see it. So the best thing you can even do is just forget about it. And yeah, that's all I had to say for now. It's just a thought that came into my mind, and I thought that let me speak about it. Follow my Instagram if you're new, check my Telegram, and see you guys later.